Welcome, welcome, lovely writers, to this week's Writerly Wednesday. I want to start off by saying if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that button. And if you want to be notified every time new writerly tips and tricks come out, hit that little bell. It will notify you. Now let's get into today's chat. It's really come from a conversation I had with one of my writers this week. And if I'm honest, it's a conversation that sort of breaks my heart when I hear one of my writers say something like this: I don't think I'm a writer, though I know that I wrote. It feels like I haven't done it enough, or I haven't done it recently, and therefore I'm no longer a writer. First, can I just say that if you've ever said anything like that to yourself, you are definitely not alone. Even the most accomplished writers that I have known and worked with, both personally and professionally, have those moments. We all have that inner sort of shaking that says, if I'm not actively doing it, or when we get ourselves back to a project and it's been a bit of a break, we think, wait a minute, how did I do that before? I don't think I can do it anymore. So you are definitely not alone. That said, I have 3 things that I want you to take with you today so that you've got something in your toolkit for the next time this happens to you. Now, the first thing I want you to think about are anchors. Now, for a lot of the writers that have worked with me in a VIP capacity, whether they've gone on a retreat or worked with me one-on-one, I generally start out a collection that they might have. And then I always hope that they increase on it. But I will give my writers an anchor, a totem, something to remind them, whether it's, sometimes it's been a bracelet, sometimes it's a lapel pin, it's been necklaces. The important part for me is that, number 1, it says writer, or I am a writer. And I want you to keep that anchor in your writing space. Get it out. Wear it if you need to. In fact, if it's wearable inspo, which I love, 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 then even better, because I want you to have it on you so that it surprises you at these little moments throughout the day to remind you of who you are. Now, it needn't be wearable inspo, even though, like I said, I'm a huge fan of that and I've always played with potentially starting a shop so that I can share that sort of inspo with people. But whatever will work for you, it could just be a sticky note in your workspace reminding you, I am a writer. It is who I am. It's one aspect, one facet of my personality. It may be the main one for you. And that is there to remind you that no matter how long a break, it is who you are. Why? Because you have self-identified. Too often we look for external validation. And whilst a wearable inspo or a totem like that seems like external validation, it's really not. You can buy it for yourself. You don't need somebody else to tell you that you are a writer. It could be if you are an artist, if you are a painter, you just know you are, whether you are actively creating the art or not. It is who you are. So that's tip number 1, create some anchors for yourself. Number 2, I know this was especially relevant for the writer that I was talking to, I want you to show yourself some grace. All of us can let life sort of get us derailed from our goals, even for those things that seem positive. Happy, wonderful things can be happening for our family or our friends out in the world. Sometimes negative, challenging issues come up as well. Regardless, I want you to think about any break you've had from your writing and give yourself some grace for it. Right? Maybe you've had surgery, or maybe you've just gotten over a really bad cold or flu, or you've had COVID, right? You need to give yourself grace. We, as humans, we're not actually created to constantly do. And oftentimes, especially if we have a physical ailment, that is the time, and that is actually a message that we should be receiving. I got to slow down sometimes. I must pull in and take care of me first. If you've ever seen any of my videos around writer's block, or you've taken the mini class on unlocking writer's block, you will know this message from me. We cannot have these high expectations of our output when our physical body is not able to keep up with us. And so I want you to give yourself grace. Think back to what are the reasons that I maybe have not showed up for my writing. Give yourself grace for that. And then the third thing is scheduling. And I know that that can sound pretty basic, but I think if you're in this spot, you will be able to pick out the fact that you've just been going with the flow and expecting the writing without actually setting yourself up for success. Now, if I haven't already told you personally about my course and membership Writer's Flow, now I'm going to mention it. Why? Because it is constantly having new updated modules and new add-ons. The one that we're tackling this month, in fact, the workshop is next week on the 21st of July, and that will be on creating your ideal writerly week. Scheduling should not be overlooked. Yeah, we all know that writers write, and they don't just do it willy-nilly. If we're waiting for the muse, that's not going to happen. The muse is waiting for you to show up. And so scheduling yourself, looking at your schedule and getting really, really clear for yourself about where you can start now. And you can slowly build on it, even if it isn't your ideal, even if it isn't what it used to be. Start with where you are now and create that schedule so you can start to build that muscle again, and you will have less of that back and forth. Of course, if you would like to join Writer's Flow, we would love to have you. And then you will get this scheduling workshop included as part of your membership, as well as all of the other workshops that we add to it. So check that out. There should be a link below. If you have a question or a topic you'd like me to tackle on an upcoming Writerly Wednesday, please reach out. You can comment below, you can send me an email, anjanette@storyaslife.com. We would love to have you. Until then, I hope you are feeling full of the writer that you are, and I hope these tips have helped you. If you haven't already, I hope you give yourself some time to honor your writerly work this week. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye, lovely writers.